a featherweight kickboxing ring in Singapore, empty of fans because of a pandemic that had cleared out the whole world. Giorgio Petrosyan, undefeated since 2013. The man they called the Doctor because he operated on people with punches. That was the night a Thai fighter with a business degree and a police academy on his resume ended the longest win streak in kickboxing and became a global star.
Oh, good night, Irene! The guy's just knocked out the greatest kickboxer of all time. I'd have been running around Singapore with my underpants swinging around me there.
Here is the uncomfortable question that Kick leaves behind. Giorgio Petrosyan was, by consensus, the hardest man on earth to hit clean.
Very exciting.
Elite fighters had spent 8 years walking onto his jab and finding nothing but air. So, how does anyone land a full-power head kick on a ghost? Phatthalung Province, southern Thailand, August 1990. Supachai Muensang, the boy the world would eventually know as Superbon, started training in Muay Thai at 5 years old and was competing at 6. The kind of head start that in most sports would be a novelty, and in Thai boxing is closer to a prerequisite. He built an amateur resume most fighters would kill for, collecting championships, knockouts, and building a name for himself as one of the most feared athletes in Muay Thai. Then, by 2010, he had turned that into a professional PAT lightweight title. He kept climbing the domestic ranks through his teens and early 20s, a solid, respected, largely unspectacular fighter on the Thai stadium circuit. Then, at 18, he moved to Bangkok to keep competing while he finished his education, and that education very nearly ended the story before it started. Superbon earned a business degree from Ratana Bundit University, and rather than chase the fight game full-time, he did the sensible, dutiful thing. He walked away from competition and enrolled in the police academy, chasing a stable government salary to support his family.
ที่บ้านก็อยากให้ไปเป็นข้าราชการผมเรียนจบพอดีเรียนจบเสร็จแล้วก็ไปสอบตำรวจได้เป็นตำรวจได้ผมก็รู้สึกว่ามันไม่ใช่แนวทางการใช้ชีวิตของผม
For a while, Muay Thai was the thing he used to do. In 2014, still fighting on the side, Superbon fought Amadeo Cristiano for the WBC Muay Thai Intercontinental Welterweight title in Chiang Rai. Very early on, it became clear just what the world was going to get to experience and how high the ceiling was for Superbon. From the very first exchange, Cristiano seemed to absorb everything Superbon threw with a big reaction. The low kicks, jabs, and hooks all started to wear on Cristiano at the end of the very first round. By the second round, he had no answers, and after a flurry of body shots, he would be dropped and TKO'd. The first took place on the very same card as Muay Thai's biggest living export, Buakaw Banchamek. The two crossed paths at an event in Australia where Buakaw was a co-presenter. What started as a conversation became a mentorship.
ช่วงนั้นโชคดีที่ว่าได้มารู้จักกับพี่บัวเขาก็ได้ไปดูผมชกไปเป็นอะไรเงี้ยมาเขาก็แบบได้ชวนให้ไปซ้อมด้วยเขาก็บอกเฮ้ยเดี๋ยวพี่หารายการชกให้ในต่างประเทศมาซ้อมกับพี่ไหมอะไรเงี้ยมาใช้บัญชาเมฆมามันก็เปลี่ยนมันเหมือนเป็นจุดเปลี่ยนของชีวิตผมเหมือนกันนะครับเพราะหลังจากที่ว่าเราไม่ค่อยมีรายการชกในเมืองไทยเราอนาคตการชกมวยในเมืองไทยแทบจะลิบหลี่แล้วครับเหมือนเราเจอทางสว่างเราเจอทางใหม่ที่มันยังแบบไปได้อีกไกลก็
Under Buakaw's guidance, Superbon made the leap from Muay Thai into the international kickboxing circuit in 2015, trading the stadiums of Bangkok for rings in Europe and China. The results came fast, but they weren't cheap. His run to the 2016 Kunlun Fight World Max title was built on revenge and respect in equal measure. In the final 16 on July 31st, he faced Kyle Janiev, and the assignment had a personal edge to it. Janiev held a controversial win over Superbon's own mentor, Buakaw. Superbon answered with the exact weapon this whole story's about. A right high kick and knocked him out in the second round. In the final 8 on September 24th, he got a rematch with Sithichai Sitsongpaenom, the same rival who had knocked him out cold the first time they met. This time, Superbon won it clean, by decision. He beat Cedric Manhoef by decision in the semifinal. Then closed out the tournament on New Year's Day 2017 against fellow Thai striker Jamthong Chuwatana, the Golden Boy. Knocking him out to become Kunlun Fight World Max Champion and collect a prize purse worth roughly $120,000. In 2018, he did it again in a single night. At Enfusion Live 76 in Abu Dhabi, Superbon fought 3 times in a matter of hours to win the 8-man, 72.5 kilogram tournament, beating Aziz Kala, then Diogo Calado, then Marwan Tutu in the final for the €100,000 grand prize. But the detail that matters most for what happens later in this story is smaller and stranger. Superbon has said that his own signature head kick, the weapon that would eventually make him famous, was reverse engineered from getting kicked by Buakaw himself. He built his career-ending weapon out of the exact kick that had once been used to hurt him. By 2020, Superbon had a resume, a mentor, and no obvious next mountain until one championship came calling. It took 3 approaches and a properly competitive contract before he signed in February 2020. His debut arrived that July in a trilogy decider against longtime rival Sithichai Sitsongpaenom.
Bro, there's so many guys that are fighting for the chance.
There's a higher leg.
Which he won clean by unanimous decision. It was a statement, not a spectacle. The spectacle was next. On October 15th, 2021, at one first strike, Superbon stepped in against Giorgio Petrosyan for the inaugural 1 featherweight kickboxing world title. Petrosyan hadn't lost since 2013. He had the sharpest eyes and the tightest guard in the sport. Nobody, reasonably, gave Superbon a route to victory that didn't involve 5 rounds of getting outthought.
Telly, his good friend, watching it, will believe of the arms of has done most
Job of keeping the kicking distance so he can let go of that right kick. His volume's a little
cost. Oh, good night, Irene!
So Superbon didn't try to outthink him in real time. He'd already done the thinking months earlier, frame by frame, and executed it perfectly.
It's very good. It's the best memory of my life. It's the best history of my life. You know, like that I can win over the number 1 kickboxer. You know, like it's something that I am very proud of. Like I don't know, like what the social media gonna talk about, but for me, this is the best history, best moment of my life.
Superbon isn't hunting for the finish early. He's landing kicks to the body, over and over, dragging Petrosyan's guard a fraction lower each time to protect his ribs. Watch the finish in slow motion, and the trap is almost embarrassingly clean. Superbon spent the first round feeding Petrosyan kicks to the body, patiently dragging his guard down to protect his ribs. In the second round, he baited a response. A body kick draws out Petrosyan's counter, a straight left hand. As that hand snaps back into position, it drops, just for an instant, exposing the exact side of the head Superbon had been aiming at the entire fight. The right high kick that follows isn't an accident finding a gap. It's a gap that was built, strike by strike, and then filled. Petrosyan went stiff on his feet before he hit the canvas. Superbon became the second man ever to knock him out, and one of only 3 to beat him at all. Superbon answered with his signature lethal right high kick and knocked him out in the second round. Superbon was named the 2021 Knockout of the Year and the 1 Super Series Male Striker of the Year. The mystery from the top of this video has its answer. You don't hit a ghost by being faster than it. You hit it by knowing exactly where it's going to stand before it does.
Good night, Irene!
Championship reigns rarely stay tidy, and Superbon's first didn't. In March 2022, he turned back the number 1 contender Murat Grigorian by decision to make his first defense stick.
Punch combination, which those punches are coming. Step through knee from the champion. 10 seconds is at the last uppercut from Murat.
Then, On January 13, 2023, at One Fight Night 6 in Bangkok, the belt found a new owner in brutal fashion. Chingiz Alazov, the Azerbaijani Belarusian puncher, who'd go on to be one of the era's great finishers,
The real Leone, look at it! Oh my goodness!
dropped Superbon 3 times in the second round for a TKO that ended the reign outright.
Hands up his head off line because Chingiz is feeling it right now.
Superbon later admitted the loss owed as much to preparation as to Alazov's power. He'd fought in the morning for the first time in his career without adjusting his training, and the disrupted sleep and anxiety that followed left him a step slow on the biggest night of the year. The belt was gone. The question hanging over him was whether the Petrosian kick had been a peak or a pattern. The pattern repeated itself almost exactly. In June 2023, at One Fight Night 11, Superbon faced Tayfun Ozkan, a pressure fighter who spent the first round walking him down with volume.
It's Typhon. He needs to push forward and score shots just like that.
The rear kick, right leg. They're going downstairs and upstairs.
He can't answer back with that big right punch that he usually does.
Superbon absorbed it, waited, and in round 2, as Ozkan overcommitted on a combination and lost his balance for a fraction of a second, Superbon uncorked a counter head kick that put him away cold.
Job, and you can see the markings.
One chairman, Chatri Sitiodtong, later compared the two finishes directly and rated the Petrosian kick the harder of the two to pull off only because of who was standing across the ring that night, while noting the technical skill required was equal. Fans watching frame by frame saw the same fingerprint: bait the counter, let the opponent's own habit create the opening, and be exactly where the gap appears.
What do you think? Would you prefer your knockout of Petrosian or Ozcan?
I think Petrosian is the best one because I get the belt.
But he was stretched out. Both men were stretched out. Another stretcher. You have 2 stretcher KOs in one championship.
Yep. The thing is, everyone, when you fight me, you need to be careful. I can kick bone up my leg.
2 peak-level knockouts of 2 completely different opponents, built off the identical blueprint. That's not a highlight. That's a system. With the kickboxing division largely conquered, Superbon set his sights on something no one championship athlete had done at featherweight, holding both the kickboxing and Muay Thai world titles at once. It would prove to be the one door his signature weapon couldn't kick down. In April 2024, he closed the book on his long-running trilogy with Murat Grigorian. Outpointing him at Lumpini Stadium to claim the interim featherweight kickboxing title. With Alazov later sidelined and inactive, Superbon was elevated to undisputed champion in January 2025. Then, in September 2024, he stepped into Muay Thai rules against fellow Thai striker Smokin' Joe Natawut and needed only 143 of the first round, catching him with a short, vicious elbow that folded him to the canvas. Not every finish in this story is a kick. Some of them are just about being the more dangerous man at close range. Twice, though, the second title stayed out of reach. Superbon challenged Tawanchai PK Saenchai for the one featherweight Muay Thai world title in December 2023.
He's being smart and taking their time, but now we're in the third round.
Switches guards. Superbon looked like it wanted Tawanchai momentarily. This is chest. Tightly towards Superbon. Word in these exchanges.
Really make a statement here.
And again in early 2025.
Timing tip. Not as accurately as he wanted, but a lot of crazy shots. Big shot. He's hurt. Superbon's down. And he gets back unloading. Superbon is hurt. That's Tawanchai going on the attack. Down he goes. And this one is over.
And lost both times, the second by stoppage. The two-sport dream went unrealized, at least for now, but it never cost him the throne he already had. On November 16, 2025, at 173 in Tokyo, Superbon walked into hostile territory to face interim champion Masaki Noari, The man who had, months earlier, done to Tawanchai what Superbon couldn't, knocked him out.
It's done. Knocking down Tawanchai with a big uppercut. He's continuing to swarm, putting combinations left to right. Tawanchai could be falling, and he did!
It was a unification bout, 5 full rounds, in front of a hometown crowd screaming for the local fighter.
Those long-range weapons, he's doing a good job on keep that space. Superbon to understand his...
Nwari came forward behind chopping calf kicks. Superbon answered with the weapon that had defined his entire career.
Superbon and his legs. Superbon done.
Working his left high kick from range while mixing in knees whenever Nwari closed the distance.
It kind of separates, landed by Superbon. Look at the leg, check out the right leg. 16 wins, I think, are on his record.
By the championship rounds, Nwari was walking into step-in knees with arms battered and swollen, refusing to fold, but unable to turn the tide.
Kicks in the body work and the arms are busted up.
This matchup.
Let go! Masaki Noidi. This is a very...
I feel like Noidi is starting to fade.
All 3 judges sided with the tie. Unanimous decision. 2 belts became 1, and Superbon stood, for the first time, as the sport's undisputed featherweight kickboxing king. The final tally, as it stands. A professional kickboxing and Muay Thai record built past 150 fights, roughly 117 wins against 37 losses. A 2-time 1 featherweight kickboxing world champion, a Kunlun Fight World Max Tournament winner, an Enfusion tournament champion, and one of only 2 fighters alive who can say they knocked out Giorgio Petrosian. A boy who started at 6, walked away for a police uniform, got talked back into the ring by one legend, and spent the second half of his career building a single, repeatable answer to the hardest question in striking. How do you hit the man who can't be hit? You study him until you know his habits better than he does. Then you wait for him to be himself.